Hey, we enter the land of madness with all kinds of neat little tools now. We're changing a little bit of things about format. We're trying to get a little bit more professional looking, professional seeming, and we're doing a little bit more work. Amber has gone a little nuts as far as setting us up with some cool art stuff. So a lot of kudos to her for the cool graphic that you saw on the way in and kind of going through the open source music that YouTube provides in order to give us, something to listen to as we enter into these shows. I'm hoping to get this working with the Metal Lab this week. Hopefully that goes without any sort of challenge. The YouTube streaming tools seem to be working fairly well for us right now. And all kinds of neat stuff is going in our favor. I've had OBS set up and ready to go for me for a little while now, and I really it's been a matter of, should I do it, should I not? Should I take the plunge and just work with this tool, which everybody else in the world seems to be using except for us? So I'm just kind of adjusting some windows to make sure that not too much of our screen light is popping off of my glasses. It's not too much reflection. It's one of the reasons you'll see these days I wear a hat for live stream, because you already got all kind. Like, I wish I could do contacts or just not have my eyes on the screen, because for the love of goodness, you basically see my computer monitor while we're live, and I mean it could get fixed with my next pair of glasses, but we'll see. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. We're entering into the mind of madness, and what do we do from here? Well, we talk about my video game escapades, as it were. And since yesterday, I haven't had a chance to do much in the way of video gaming because I was setting all of this up today. Usually I'd be playing a little bit of video games before you guys see me on the stream. So unfortunately, I didn't have that option this particular time around. So I didn't get a chance to do much in that way. I've done a lot of focusing and writing out my team for this coming weekend, which is the ROC Canada Cup. It's been an adventure, an up and down drama, as it were, trying to come up with the team, coming up with whatever ideas I can safely deal with. So if you guys are in the chat today, it's free form. You have anything you want me to talk about specifically or discussions you want me to have, let me know. Hey, Nolan, how's it going? Hope you guys can hear me okay, and I hope everything is going smoothly. This isn't Google Hangouts anymore. It is an actual professional tool set. So hopefully things are going fairly well. What else do I have to report on? So we've done the up and downs. We've talked about ROC Cup. I've written a couple words towards the new format. I have decided that the Everyman format is the best name for it, given the whole Lex Luthor is part of created the Everyman thing, and the Everyman was every character, every person in the world has access to superpowers. So the idea that the all-common format is everybody has equality of power actually really works for the format, if you ask me. And I'm really looking forward to doing some more work with that. In fact, this is the last week I'm going to be talking about the topic on this show, as next week I'm going to be starting a brand new, also live show similar to this, called The Everyman for Everyone, where we just spend our entire time talking about this format that we're building, that we're pushing, and kind of addressing everything to do with it. Pitfalls, high points, all that kind of stuff. Building teams with it weekly. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing a lot of overhauling on the channel, and Amber has done a fantastic amount of work today, kind of spearheading that, as it were. It's our first steps towards that one show per day goal that we're trying to meet. So we're really looking forward to that. So we talked about it last night, and we're, I think, 6 out of 7 days we've got a good coverage on. So as we know, Monday will be the Metal Lab, and Tuesday is going to be the return of the Metafix, barring any kind of changes that I want to make as far as that is concerned. We could move to a different show, different format. Will depend on how things are going from there. Followed by our Wednesday, Thursday shows, which will be, of course, Into the Mind of Madness, and then the new show, Every Man for Everyone. And then Friday will be our... Oh, Friday was up in the air. Friday is still the day we haven't quite figured things out. But Saturday will be our game day, and then Sunday we'll see the return of the casual corner, where Amber will kind of make things happen on that. Though, counting on that, like, that will be mixed up between talking about our games, talking about our tournaments, talking about our other things. Friday is probably going to be where we see Move and Attack when we have episodes of Move and Attack. Also, Sunday we'll be flip-flopping with the Patron Hangout as we adapt that to this new format as well, which is looking to be probably a challenge, to say the least. We'll probably come with a lot more instructions. So a lot of these things are still, like, as far as the chat and chats over distance are still going to operate on Google Hangouts. We're just kind of streamlining to a new sort of system to keep everything flowing and happy and in the right places. Okay. With that said, that's a little bit of the give and take. If you are a part of the Majestics Apex Insiders, I do want to give you guys a heads up. Some of my work has made it there. Let's start with the main page. Go to the pay page to see, because one article should show up on the free page, and one article should show up on the Apex Insiders. And it looks like, so my article about my team is on the Apex Insiders. That's what it looks like. And then it's very likely that my WWE predictions are supposed to be on the free site. That was a discussion I had with Pat. Anyway, so check that out, majesticcg.com/apex-insiders. They're a sponsor. They love us, yeah. But you do need to be a Apex Insiders member to get in on that particular article. But as I said, there's another article coming up that should be on the free portion of the site very soon that covers, more vague stuff and more predictive stuff. So, where am I going with this? I'm just gonna wave at Amber and ask her to turn off the kitchen light because I'm getting a little bit of weird backlighting out of that. All right, I've about 8 or 9 times as I try to redirect my direction. So, we're in. Turtles team is confirmed because I wrote an article. I am now on the hook for that. It's unavoidable. I have to do it. That's how we do these things. So what do we do today? Today we're going to build our last Everyman build, which will be on this channel, or on this show, as it were. Then we move the show. This show today will become the Everyman Project, or Everyman for Everyone, as part of the Everyman Project. It's fitting that the Everyman Project was created by Lex Luthor in DC Comics, and we share a haircut. So it's only fitting that this is all part of my maniacal plan. This is why I have a Dr. Doom tattoo, guys. I thought we figured this out already. So, but I got 2 fan pieces of input in order to address first, and then we'll go from there. The first one, which is not building a team related, is actually HC Realms related, is a good chance to take a look at what our next screen format is going to look like. Build mode, as it were. But we're actually not going into build mode for this particular address. Our fan here, who's in the chat right now, Nolan Lake, has asked, has mentioned that he recently got an HC Realms account. He wants to know how he adds things to his collection. So here we are in HC Realms, where we usually are, to build teams. And in order to kind of manage your collection, you have your collection tab, which is in the. This is all in the units section. This is the most important element of HC Realms. If you use nothing else on HC Realms, the units tab is what you use. Okay. You do have to have an account to keep track of a collection, though. That's an important element. So let's do a thing where we're just going to add some figures to my collection. I don't personally keep track of my collection on the site because that just feels like work, as it were. I have a very sizable collection, and when I get around to actually organizing things, it's already too late, and I've already done a lot of work in order to do that. So we go here. Let's just add a common Batman to our collection. It's actually a very simple task. You see this? You have this keep, have, want. You add it to your halves with this little arrow there. Now, once you've done that, it is now part of your collection. So if I go into my collection, it's not in my collection. Why did it not get it in my collection? I'm wondering if this is a refresh thing. Let's see if that works. Oh, no, sorry. That goes under your halves. Derp. So your halves, so all the figures that you have. Now, a lot of this is used for keeping track of trading and everything like that. I honestly, like I said, I don't personally use it to add to my collection, so we will just kind of, so if we remove the have, and yeah, I think that's what you do. I'm not familiar with how to add it to a collection. If somebody knows. I'm mumbling to myself, but this is how I generally keep it. Your halves is a good way. Your collection. How do we add to the collection? Oh, you got to add it to your keeps, I think. So if I add one to my keep, my collection gets added. There it is. Okay. So to recap, because I'm a silly boy, your collection is what you use to keep track of what you're keeping as part of your figures. So when I click on my collection, I put that I have 2 Batmans. There's 2 Batmans in my collection. For the purposes of trading lists, you put your halves, because there are people who use HC Realms for trading. I personally don't. I like to trade locally or via some degree of provable identification source site, i.e. Facebook, etc. So your halves would be your trade list. And of course, your wants, should you not have the figure and you want one, you add it to your want. And should you want more than one, you add multiples to it. So that's how you keep track of your collection via this. And then if you have that thing where it's like, I can't keep track of what I have, then it's a good thing to have this collection tab. Personally, I don't need it. Not a big thing. As well, you've been seeing when we're building our own teams, just as a quick refresher, this little green plus on the left, boom, adds it to your team, also adds it to your team total. Pretty cool. It's just a shame that Michelangelo is 0 points. So sometimes if a thing isn't in there though, and something is of equivalent points, it's a reasonable suggestion, as it were, to just kind of add something of similar point value. You can use the advanced search and everything like that. So hopefully, Nolan, that was it looks like it was the information you needed. So I'm glad I could help on that regard. Next up, I got challenged by Mr. Michael Fedor. Can you build a team designed to get a flash from the starting point to the opposite side in 1 turn? Yeah.
Hello, TK.
Telekinesis is your friend on these kinds of things, but I'm gonna caveat something where yes, TK is an important element to this, but it's time to go back to build mode. I don't know why I chose this particular text on the top here. Build mode, like beast mode on the top. It's just a work in progress, right, guys? Give me a break.
Can you change that font?
I can, okay, if I choose to. Is it bothering you?
No. I was just wondering if there was like a default.
Amber's a fan of serif fonts. She is serifist.
I like pretty things.
She's not a fan of sans serif. All right, so let's get a flash across the board. Now, a typical map is 18 by 22. So, or 24, sorry. 18 by 24, right? Oh, wait, do I have this right? I have a map right behind me. Let's figure this out. So, la-di-da-da-da. Yeah, it's 24 squares. And P is the 18th letter for 8, 12, sorry, 16 across. So 16 by 24. 16 by 24. Okay, the width doesn't really matter. So it's the front part that matters. Okay, so if we account for the fact that we actually only have to travel 22 squares, the exercise becomes a microcosm a little bit easier. Okay, so Michael was non-specific as to modern or golden age. So I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to go golden because I'm going to make this super easy. Actually, okay, if I wanted to go super easy, super golden, he was non-specific as to which flash. So if I go back to hyper time, Amber already knows what I'm about to do here. And we go to the uniques, and we pick the flash. 101 points. I have 20 movement. So I only need 2 more squares. I don't even need TK. Whoops, I spelled chief wrong. Because if I read this guy correctly, I believe I did. Give the chief a free action. Choose a friendly character within 6 squares in line of fire. That character can you sidestep this turn. I did it. I did it. Okay, but instead of being a cheeky Nando, I'm going to keep the chief as part of our strategy. Okay, the chief is a part of this. What are we going to do next? We are going to go. Let's keep it cheap TK. Cheap TK. Who was the robot man that was really cheap? I think it was Mercury. Mercury. No, not that Mercury. This Mercury. This is world's finest. 25 points with TK. Boom. So he spent 75 points. All right. So now we got to pick the Flash. Now again, once again, this is Golden Age. So we'll try the same. We can try the same exercise in Modern Age in a second. And I think you'll find we'll come up with similar results. It's TK is your bestie in this situation because by using the chief to allow the character to use sidestep, you trigger that, and then you TK the character, then they move across. So what do we need out of a flash at this point? We're moving 6 squares out of the starting area, and we're getting 2 extra squares of movement with the sidestep. So we have 8 squares. So what we need left out of the 22 squares that we need to move is 14. So we need a flash with 14 movement. And I think that's like half of them. That's the first flash I clicked had 14 movement. This flash has 12. Batman the Animated Series has a 13 movement. Ooh, so we might need a perplex in this case now. So in all my cheeky Nando-ness, I mean, the comment here, we can keep this on a budget. We've now got the Chief, I think, is a super rare, and then Mercury is a rare, and Flash is a common. We could do that. Uncommon Flash is a little too slow. Rare Flash, almost there. What else do we have here? We have the Starter Set Flash with 13 movement, not there. Wonder Woman has a flash, not there. And then we go to Joker's Wild. And then we go to World's Finest, which is a Flash ID. And then, of course, there's the Flash set itself. There's lots of flashes with which to move. Flash! Oh, here we go. We got 17 movement out of the Kingdom Come Flash. So you actually have a little bit of movement with which to go back in this case. Okay. So, stop being a cheeky Nando, Jason. Let's do the same thing we just did, but in Modern. Now, we need that sidestep. The only character I know of that can do that in the Modern era is Space Mikey. Because Space Mikey has this little thing where he can drop smoke clouds, and then if you're occupying that smoke cloud, you can sidestep out of that. Cool. So that's step 1. Now, next we need our cheap TK. So we go to Xavier's School for that. Now, Xavier School. Whoops. I want to keep the TK cheap. We could go Hellion, but don't need to. Because Hellion isn't going to quite do what you think he's going to do in this case. Let's go with an X student, because I think there was one of either the X students or the other one. Trainee. One of the two. X trainee? Nope, it's the X student. X student has that optional TK. Now we have to pay the extra points to get that TK. Hey Jarrett, how's it going? We're currently in the middle of a challenge, and I'm supposed to get a flash into the starting area in one turn. And I'm trying to do it with the least number of points I could possibly do it. Just so you know what kind of nonsense I'm up to. Alright, now, I don't remember if this flash is still legal.
What's that?
The DC 16 prize one.
Oh, yeah, those are tough.
Yeah, it's always hard to keep track of some of these things. Win.wizkids.com. I feel like we have the right numbers. Oh, and in this case, because we're, once again, non-specific about flashes, we could easily just, alternatively just use the common flash. And I've spent 145 points of a 300-point team. Does that work for everybody? Man. I didn't even think about that. So, yeah, challenge accepted, challenge complete. Because what you do here is you move Michelangelo out a little bit. A little bit. Not too far. But around 6 squares away. Then what you do is you TK with your X-trainee to the maximum amount of TK. So we're now 6 squares away from our starting area. Okay, cool. Next, we have Michelangelo drop the smoke cloud so that the flash can leave the smoke cloud with a sidestep but not still be occupying it when he's done his sidestep. Okay, then we're up there, and then we can TK, or then we can move our 14 squares and say, hi, starting area, how you doing? We've moved 22 squares across the board, accounting for all of these extra little bits. I think okay, so let's do this properly with a map in my hand to make sure I've got all my numbers correct. I just had a map here. I forgot where I put it. It's right here, Jason. Duh, you dummy. Yeah. Lieutenant Kyle is also a good alternative at 25 points and can live a little longer, to be brutally honest. All right, so from the starting area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, don't account for terrain. Sidestep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're at the other side of the map. Not only are you in their starting area, you're as far into their starting area as you could possibly be. There. It's one of those things from here at this point, and we're going to go off of build mode. What are you going to do with that is the question you have to ask yourself now. And that's why I left 155 points with which to build. Because that's a lot of something doing nothing at this point. Because that flash is not... Well, I mean, he's good. He can deal 3 damage. He's only 45 points. He's got the PD team ability, which is... All this is really cool. But it's not doing much. So you want something... adding something to this flash, if that makes any amount of... I hope it makes some degree of sense, because it's the challenge. That's half the challenge was getting the flash into my opponent's starting area. The other half of the challenge now is to do something with that. So we will see what we look like from there. All right. So that's been the fan input so far. I'm still open to it, as this show needs a little bit of momentum sometimes, and today is no exception to that. But what I do want to do is actually take our all common build, the everyman build, because I'm just going to name it for Heroclix's sake, because Magic can keep Pauper, because that sounds regal and fantasy-like, whereas everyman sounds more comic-like. I'm going to push to name the format. That's part of pushing to get something done, right? It's giving it a proper name. Why not start with this flash as part of a team? Why not, right? Any objections? No? Cool. Wasn't going to listen to them anyway. All right. Now, what I do want to do is I want to take common rarities we've done an Avengers team so far. I kind of want to do an all common Justice League team. That's what I want to do. So common, modern age, keyword is it Justice League or just? I think it's just Justice League, but I'll have to double check to be sure. So I'm gonna do the search first. So if anybody's wondering why I'm wondering, okay, it is Justice League. There was a thing where it was like, hey, it is Justice League and Justice League of America. Those are actually two active, different keywords altogether. LeBron James, we are currently moved into our all common build for the week. I've just finished a challenge from one of the fans to take a flash and get him into my opponent's starting area on the first turn. And I started with the common flash, as a matter of fact, because he's got 14 movement. So that's 14 squares of movement already done. The second half was getting him the last 8 squares. And not only are we in the starting area with those 14 squares, we are in the starting area as far back as we could possibly go. So challenge met, accepted, and done. So going back to build mode. Oh, no. To build mode, as it were. Oh, I broke it. I broke OBS, didn't I? That's fine. You just crash. You just crash, boy. Oh, man. Oh, boy. OBS, what are you doing to me? Can you all still hear me? Oh, there we go. We're back. All right. Let's no, we're not back. We are in fact the opposite of back. Uh-oh. Why do I have two webcams listed on this? This could be problematic. This could be why I'm running into this issue. So we go here. Okay, so you can still hear me, which is good news. Can you still see what OBS is supposed to be putting out? Because I don't know. The app is just kind of taking a dump on me. All right. Anyway. So we're going to carry on and see what happens from here. Hopefully we get something. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Okay. We're back? Are we back? I don't know. Everything is going crazy on me right now. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Sorry, guys. Trying to get back here. I promise. Things have gone a little wacky as far as OBS is concerned. Oh my gosh. This is super embarrassing. Oh. I should probably stop that part because that doesn't need to be happening right now. Oh, goodness. All right, better. Webcam off, webcam on. Not sure who's being the jerk here, if it's my webcam or if it's OBS, so bear with me. Stream is bad. Of course the stream is bad. Thanks, Google, we know. I know. Just give me a second here. We'll set that broadcast alert on. Oh my God. Hmm.